Okay, so for this video, it might be more than one video, see how it all goes. The plan is to winterize the engine. So the boat's out the water at the moment while I'm doing some other stuff. Look at this electrics, look at this headliner, a lot of it was tired and going to get replaced. So while it's out the water, it's only going to be out the water, I'm hoping for about 6 to 8 weeks. So while it's out, I'm going to winterize the engine just to sort of minimize corrosion. You can see she's an old engine and she's showing signs of corrosion anyway. So we're going to try and combat that and minimize it going forward. So what we're going to do is, really on the face of it, it's kind of straightforward. We will be slackening off the belts to take pressure off the belts themselves and the bearings. We're going to drain down the raw water system. Let's get the water at the block, probably flush it with antifreeze. Not that well, there is actually freezing weather coming this week, but I'm not expecting, it's not like we're living in the Arctic, but we don't want any ice sneaking about in here and splitting the block. Although this is raw water, so it's salt water, so the chances of salt water freezing in South Wales on the coast is impressively low. But we're going to do it anyway, it's pretty good for it. We're going to spray down and wipe down the outside of the engine with some penetrating oil to sort of drive out some of the moisture that's causing all this sort of stuff in here really. And then in the background I'll be running, because there's no power on here, I've been sort of dragging my heels a bit, but I need to get just run an extension lead onto here so I can put a heater in, dehumidifier, help with all moisture. Also going to be cleaning out the bilge, there's a bit of water gathering in there. I'm going to be stripping out all of this old foam and replacing it with new foam. So yeah, there's a bit to be done, but considering this isn't even the main job. But yeah, let's get after it and see how it goes. First job, we use socket set to loosen off these 13mm. All of these bolt heads should be 13mm. I'm going to use a little bit of a spanner on some of them just because I've been doing work in the house, so the extension for this socket is in the house. There's no way I'm driving back there. So they shouldn't be overly tight. I took them off earlier this year to do some bits and pieces when I was trying to work out other problems. There we are. I was working out other problems. So what I do is just take the pressure out of the system. You can already see the belt bending on my knuckle. It's probably because of my poor slackness. And there we go. Pressure's off the belt now, pressure's off the bearings. That's going to be great. And it also means now I can sort of inspect the belts. Like this belt here, if you can see it, so if you can see the detail on there. Let's see if we can get it. See, we've slackened the belt off. So on inspection with the belt, things to look out for. See this white line that's coming down here? So that shows signs of wearing on the belt. It could be that I've done it up too tight in the past, or that it was too slack. Sorry, if it was too slack in the past and that it was rubbing, which is definitely the case, because when I first took the boat on, there was piles of like rubber filings and dust all in here from where they've been slipping. And then here as well, we can see exactly the same scenario here. That's not a great sign. So these belts are a bit worn on the side, which is a bit of a shame. But that's not for today's worries. We're just going to loosen them. Just going to loosen up these bolts here, so that'll take the pressure off the raw water. This is the raw water pump here. There'll be an impeller in there. We changed it on another video. We changed it on another video. So we're going to take the pressure off that and slide it in. But you see these bolt heads are exposed and they're showing some signs of sort of corrosion. So just before I do it, I'm going to pop a little bit of this blue grease on. This is donated to me by my friend Leon, the absolute saviour. So when everything goes south, long before I'm ever capable of making videos like this, I usually phone him up with my half crying, panicked voice, often at sea, going, Leon, everything's not working. And this is what it sounds like, or doesn't sound like. Advise, please. And then he fixes it for me over the phone. I get educated. So I'll pop this on there. Being super careful not to get it all over the belts or anything like that. I know I've said I'm going to be changing them, but I'm busy. After I do this, I've got to go and fit the kit. I've got to learn how to and then fit the kitchen. So I might not be back here for a bit. So they're loose now. I sort of turned it off for a bit there because it was a bit of a mission to get in there. But yeah, got them loose now. So these belts have got less tension in them. First job for winter in, super simples. Next job I'm going to do isn't necessarily part of the wintering process, but it's on my list of things to do this winter. I think I'm going to take off these, I'm going to take off this foam in here. It might kind of reflect, I've left my head torch in a friend's van whilst off on a climbing X bed, so I think that taking this off might give me some more reflective light in here. So this is just like, it's not even insulated foam really, it's just foam, and you can see it's pretty minging, holds a lot of diesel and engine smell, which adds to the faustiness, so changing out that is often a good call. And there's drips and spills and all sorts that I've got on this over the years, so by replacing now, this will go a long way to sort of minimising that boat smell. So I'm super glad I did, because this is like quite a porous foam, it's very absorbent. The bottom 6 inches right up the side, holding up the hold, where it's been dipped in the bottom and taken on bilge water and ming in the past. It's like greasy and full of horribleness. So like that's gonna, it smells awful. So like that stuff has been just sort of polluting the smell inside the boat. It's quite well stuck on in places. The stuff I'm replacing it with is self-adhesive. So that's going to be fun. And I have to give it a good couple of cleans to make sure the background is as clean, more solvent and sort of oil than anything, as opposed to dust, to sort of maximise the adhesion. All the foam is out. So it was pretty stuck down in places, just up around here and things. It was pretty good to do it. I think that, well, that is the original foam. There was sort of this thing here, whatever it was for, some sort of rail for running wire, that was over the top of it, and then underneath it there was some piping, some copper piping that had been abandoned, which could have been for the primary fuel filter at some point. But yeah, it's already a bit better, getting some light in here. So I need to get these little bits off. Basically I haven't got a scraper. I thought I was super prepared today, turns out not. But yeah, I'm gonna get the what was I going to say? I'll get the rest of this off with some decent scrapers in due course, do a bit of a clean up in here. I've got some good solid closed cell foam, so that polystyrene there's a bit sketch, so we'll replace that with closed cell. And then I've got some nice closed cell foil backed or foil fronted insulation and noise dampening foam. So I'm going to re-kit this out. I'm also going to do the bit down the side of the berth, because that's the sort of, where are we at there, that's the starboard aft berth. So yeah, I'm gonna try and insulate the whole thing, just try and improve the sound, the sort of noise quality of it, if I'm honest. And that is that. It was pretty solid there. So I'm going to start by giving her a bit of a clean from top down, oil wise. See if we'll give it a wipe down. So I just sort of sprayed the engine now with like lubricating spray or penetrating spray with PTFE. So it's just sort of lubricate and sort of displace as much water off as I can really. Yeah, that's about as much as I've got to say about that. I was sort of a bit more sketch, sort of using this as a shroud to cover up the rubber hoses as much as I can, including the belts, even though I'm planning on changing them. I'm so busy right now that may not happen straight away. We'll see how it goes. So that's the front engine. I'm going to go around, get into the back and do exactly the same to the sides. So I may be wrong in doing it, but I was using the GT85 because I know I may hit some of the electrical contacts, on the theory that it's quite good for electrical contacts, takes moisture out of them, helps protect them. Feel free to comment on that. I'm probably going to back it up with a different type of oil at some point, largely based on my education when I learn more about it. As I've already said, I'm not a mechanic. I am making this up as I go along. I'm just learning how to look after my boat and its engine. Okay, so just notice down here, this is the back. I did it in the front, I didn't say much about it. These are the engine mounts. Got rubber down here, I don't know if you can see that. Where am I pointing? I wonder. So yeah, these are the engine mounts, bolt down through this thing, rubber down here. So the rubber gets old and sort of has a tough time. This is still quite squidgy. This was just caked out really with rot and ming. So I've scraped that out using actually a plasterer's small tool Guess what I've been up to recently? That's right, plastering the house. Sprayed it down with a bit of penetrating oil, just to clean it all up really, and push some of this rust out. So I'll scrub it up a bit, and then probably when I come back tomorrow, see what it is now, see how long I'm here today now, you'll put some grease on the threads there. Not that I'm anticipating removing the engine, but still need to look after these engine mounts because the engine's mounted on it. So what I'm using right now is like literally kitchen, like household cleaning stuff. I put some de-scale, like anti-lime scale stuff on there because it smells good. It's probably a really bad idea, but we'll leave it out. And very liquid as a degreaser in the bucket. So sprayed some on just to try and make the difference. It's all a bit moving. Very quick recap today. I don't even know what I've done. I've loosened off the belts. I've given the engine a bit of a clean down from top to bottom and sprayed it with sort of release oil or sort of penetrating oil to get all, well, try and drive out the rust and drive out all the moisture. There's a lot of moisture in here. Stripped off this side foam real quick. That's wood down there. Yeah, wood. Glass, sorry, that's fiberglass there. Yeah, stripped off all the internal foam here. It was absolutely minging, certainly up to this sort of area here. This was all soaking, it's still soaking now in fact. It was all soaking wet and full of like slime, it was minging. So giving everything a good clean. Started cleaning up the bilge, it's already looking a lot better. And then I've gone round and I've greased the engine mounts, which you can't really see in the front that well here. So they're back there and in there, so I've greased them in the front and the back, and any of the sort of threads that I played about with. And that's where I'm at for today. So the next stage is going to be to carry on cleaning, have a good clean through to all the hard to reach places. I'm probably going to go on top, take the thermostat out, clean down through the engine with antifreeze. I'm going to get some advice on that one first, so that I've had a good clean internally, although I have opened, like, there's a weird stopcock thing here that is the previous owner fitted. So I've been using that. It's intermittent, I don't think it's fully effective, so I might flush down with fresh water and antifreeze, fill the system up with antifreeze and sort of leave it full for the next 2 weeks. Certainly if I'm going to do it tomorrow, because there's like sub-zero temperatures on the way.